Nobody thought they'd be here. The number 2 seed in the West.
They can win in different ways. It's very key for any championship team.
Let's keep it in the West. Moving down to currently the number 2 seed, the Memphis Grizzlies. Nobody thought they'd be here. There was thoughts that maybe they could make a playoff run, but not the number 2 seed in the West. And I believe, the second best record in the entire NBA. Chow, how do you feel? Memphis Grizzlies, contenders or pretenders?
Maybe a little bit of slight bias. I think everyone knows, if you listened to the podcast last year, I was high on them. I definitely am this year. So I'm gonna say that they're contenders. I mean, we're seeing Ja Morant in the MVP conversation. He probably won't win it, but the fact that he's already there, and I mentioned before, I mean, they can play they can win in different ways, which kind of like, we saw Phoenix do that last year, but it's very key for any championship team. You're going to be facing different matchups, and especially with the NBA best of 7 series, there's going to be adjustments, and then can you adjust to those other teams' adjustments? And like I mentioned in the previous podcast, they can play big. They can have Steven Adams at the 5, Jaren Jackson at the 4. They're getting Dylan Brooks back soon, who he's been gone for most of the season, and he's another solid defender and good shooter. Desmond Bane, like I said before, really come along in his second year as well, which has been a big reason why that they're at the 2 spot. And then have other guys like Kyle Anderson, good passer, good defender, okay shooter. Zaire Williams, who's a young rookie but can produce, at least is throwing in 10 good minutes of good effort. And then they have good point guards behind Ja if he's having an off night. Tyus Jones as well. So, and then we have some, the guy that we both love, and Brandon Clark, versatile piece too. If they have to play small, once again, they can throw him in there. Or if, Steven Adams is in foul trouble, had to put Jaren Jackson at the 5, he goes in at the 4, or they want to go really small, maybe both are struggling, and Adams and Jackson, they throw him at the 5, and he can do a little bit of everything at a pretty high level or good level. I definitely think the Grizzlies are contenders, and I expect them to make noise in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think that the Grizzlies, despite the fact that they're the second best record in the NBA, are still sort of underrated as a team, because I think that Ja Morant gets all the attention, and rightfully so. He absolutely deserves it. But like you said, they have a lot of really quality pieces on that team that don't necessarily get a lot of hype or attention really whatsoever. And that might be because of the market they're in. It might be because they're a really young team. I don't know. But I feel like Jaren Jackson Jr. has been a really key piece for them this year. Steven Adams, like you said, the addition of him, I think, has really solidified the paint for them, because Jaren Jackson Jr. is like sort of that tweener 4, can play small ball 5 in certain lineups, but Steven Adams can be like your true enforcer at the 5 when you need it. And also, he's just a monster on the offensive rebound side. But then like Dylan Brooks, when he comes back, he's a fantastic defender. We saw last playoff running against the Jazz, like he can put the ball on the floor and score when he needs to. So I agree with you. I think that the Grizzlies are sort of an underrated team despite their record. And I think that after what we saw in their last playoff run, I mean, they got eliminated in the first round, but they were going up against the Jazz, who are, a perennial playoff team. They're always there. We know that they have Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell and all those guys. And they're a very similarly built team in the fact that they're very deep, and they don't necessarily have like that crazy level of attention that like the LA teams will get. But I think that they definitely they have the versatility, they have the defense, they have enough players that can step up and score, especially like you said, with the addition of Desmond Bane being a big piece this year. I agree with you. I think the Grizzlies absolutely can contend. I'm not going to say they're the favorite, but I think they can surprise a lot of people in the playoffs this year.